Takaïche Ngumbi, arrêté injustement par le parquet près la Cour de cassation. 4. Matata Ponyo Mapon, poursuivi injustement avec ses immunités parlementaires.
Now, in the video that you've just watched, those are the Wazalendos of Maniema. Now, the Wazalendos are a militia group in eastern DRC that are fighting alongside the FARDC to prevent the M23 to take more territories in eastern DRC. Now, these Wazalendos, a subsection of the Wazalendos in Maniema, have come out and released a statement to the press, noting that they are ready to allow the M23 to take over more territories in their backyard if the Congolese government does not revoke the sentencing of Ponyo Matata, a former prime minister in DRC, who they are allied with, and they are saying that if this politician is not allowed to be free, then the M23 will be allowed to go over and take more territories. Well, that is part of the story that I'm going to tell you in this video. Who is Ponyo Matata and why was he incarcerated in eastern DRC? As well as what is the strength of these Wazalendos if they come out to actually do what they have noted in that press briefing. Well, this is Bonafide. If you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe and hit that notification button so that when I release something new on the Eastern DRC crisis, you get notified as soon as possible. The Wazalendos of Maniema have given the DRC government an irreducible minimum, that there has to be a revocation of the sentencing of Ponyo Matata, who was a former prime minister in eastern DRC during the administration of Joseph Kabila and was found guilty of embezzlement of public funds by the Constitutional Court. Now, this came just recently, and of course, you know where Joseph Kabila lies in all this. Just recently, we were talking about Joseph Kabila being among the people who were supporting the M23, as was noted by the DRC government. The DRC government has been really looking for Joseph Kabila to come into the country and answer questions. In fact, the Minister of Justice said that Joseph Kabila would be tried of treason and other offenses against the DRC government. And therefore, we are seeing now even allies who worked close with Joseph Kabila at that time are being hunted by the DRC government. Ponyo Matata is an opposition leader in DRC and he was sentenced to 10 years. But what did Ponyo Matata do? According to sources, Ponyo Matata was implicated in stealing money and building his private university, among other uses of public funds, while he was prime minister during the time of Joseph Kabila. The sentencing of Ponyo Matata has led to a lot of reactions in DRC, and in fact, the Wazalendos of Maniema have taken a stand and accused Tshisekedi of protecting his brothers who are stealing from the republic. They promised to open the road to M23 if their son is arrested. These are the reactions that we are getting now in eastern DRC after the DRC government sentenced Ponyo Matata to 10 years of labor because of the dealings that he had while he was prime minister in eastern DRC. Many are saying that there are other bigger fish to fry in eastern DRC, that if Ponyo Matata would be arrested, there are people also who worked in close coordination with Ponyo Matata who are not named or mentioned in these allegations that have sprouted out in the DRC government. This rift in the Wazalendos is huge, and it's a message to the FARDC and the DRC government that there are issues that have to be solved so that the country can move forward. If you're talking about the National Army, it has to be standalone so that everything can move forward normally in the country. Because if the Wazalendos today withdraw their support to the FARDC, then a lot will happen in Eastern DRC and the larger DRC, because the strength that the DRC government now has in fighting in Eastern DRC majorly comes from the Wazalendo. Now, we're not saying that the entirety of the Wazalendos are threatening to withdraw their support from the FARDC. These are, as I said, the Wazalendos of Maniema who have released this statement, noting that they are ready to allow the M23 to open the roads, to allow the M23 to go into their territories so that they can extend their rule in Eastern DRC. And remember, if you're talking about the Wazalendos, more specifically, the kind of defense that they have put against the M23 in South Kivu has been one that has been very tough. If you're talking about Uvira, the city of Uvira has really been defended by the Wazalendos. Just a few months ago, when the FARDC were fleeing Uvira, going to Bujumbura and other parts of DRC, it is the Wazalendo that stood first and made sure that the M23 are not expanding all the way to Uvira. It is the Wazalendo that told the FARDC that if you're leaving, make sure you leave your equipment with us because we're not moving any single centimeter from where we are right now. We are going to fight the M23 to make sure that we defend our lands and towns, more so in Uvira. So if you're talking about the Wazalendo, this is a great support to the FARDC, and I'm sure the DRC government will have to look at it in a different way so that they will not lose that critical support of the Wazalendos, more so at this time when the M23 is still threatening to expand their territories all the way to other cities in eastern DRC. It is not once that we've heard the M23 saying that they want to go all the way to Kinshasa, they want to expand north, they want to expand south, and therefore the DRC government will have to have close negotiations with the Wazalendos so that that particular move by the M23 is not actualized. And this also gives a picture of how the fragmentations of militias in eastern DRC are made. If you're talking about the Wazalendos, you're not talking about an entire coalesced unit of forces that are working with the FARDC. There are cantonments and contingents in different parts in eastern DRC allied to particular agendas, particular people who are now supporting these militias so that they can work with the FARDC. And therefore, when you're talking about the different militias in eastern DRC, you can picture how they are operating in that country. Because we have said that there are more than 200 militias in eastern DRC consistently fighting against each other. And now they have these two main allies. We have the militia that are working with the FARDC, Wazalendo, and others. And then we have the militia that are working with the M23 and others. And therefore, when we are talking about these militias, these are the fragmentations that are found in eastern DRC. There was a time that we were talking about some of the Wazalendos going to work with the M23. There was also a time that we were talking about some M23 members switching sides to go and work with the Wazalendos. These fragmentations and different interests within these groups are the reasons as to why you'll find some of these groups switching sides to go and work with the people that they have been fighting for a very long time. Well, I will keep you informed of the latest of what is happening in eastern DRC. Keep it bona fide.